Good. First things first. Thank you to everybody who has been watching all week and supporting. Very much appreciate it. Always appreciate it with all you absolutely beautiful motherfuckers out there. Or did I actually get it set up? And nope, I didn't have that one set up, but
what? What the fuck?
We already got our first super chat of the night, so I got to hold up, and we have the MTF guard, and he says, "Shut up and take my money." If you get the reference, good on you. Yeah, I get the money. I get the reference there, guard. Me personally, I think there's very few gems in that show. Unfortunately, I fully understand time, so me trying to enjoy that show is difficult at best. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. As when they went to Amazonia, that was still probably their crowning jewel. It doesn't get much better than that one. Anyways, first thing first, guys, I just got to let you know there is a video dropping tonight, but it's very, very short. Because Wednesday is my busy day, I didn't have time to even write today. However, I am in the process of writing the next chapter of Something Familiar. It's been asked of me several times, and I want to get it out. Just fair warning, it takes a long time to get that one done, and I have to literally lock my ass into that one spot away from all this because, well, if I don't, I get distracted. It is what it is, and anybody out there who writes or has creativeness, some of you draw, and it's the same thing. You just want people to leave you the hell alone for a while, and it just doesn't always happen that way. But, or I should say, hold on, but it does. It is that way. It just is that way. So, anyway, let me start up here by popping a top.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
And here's to everybody's health. All right. As far as the video game compilation goes, I know some people don't like it. It's just something I'm going to do every week because I got permission from the folks who send me stuff, and hopefully you guys get the funny parts that are in there. And I try to use an eclectic version. Again, it's only like 2 or 3 minutes. I only had maybe 5 videos to go in, and this week I only got 2, so they're going to be tapped on with everybody else's. So let's see. As far as
holy Jesus, what is that? What the fuck is that?
Someone who already still has 3 weeks of good to go, you don't even have to drop a super chat. You're still getting your thanks. It's Prozac and Pancakes, also known by his secret identity. Chris Dixon says, "I'm going to have to be cheap this month. My brother, who swore he could drive a manual, blew the clutch and head gasket." Oh, and I wasted the what the fuck beforehand.
Of course you realize this means war.
Yeah, I'm not happy with an almost 8K repair bill. Dude, just ouch. Okay, and I was actually teaching my nephew how to drive a stick. He stalled my car like maybe 10 times, and he got pissed off and eventually finished up. However, or I should say, but now he does know how to drive a stick. So there's all that. That being said, dude, that's wow. Just
Inconceivable.
It's inconceivably bad. If you don't know how to do something, just admit you don't know how to do something. That's called growing up. I can hear it in my head, man, as that head gasket just blows out, and you're just like, it's almost as bad as I do know somebody. I thought I'd only see this in the movies, but I kid you not, they put it in first gear, they got on the highway and then slammed the gas down. They're doing about 80 miles an hour in first gear, and everything burned up. The car was a complete and total loss. I'm just like, how the fuck do you do that? Anyway, still, ouch. And thanks for the super chat, Chris. Appreciate it. Even $1 enough. You guys know I'm not so prideful as to throw it back, but I'm not going to ask, or I should say, but I'm not going to sit here and demand it either. I'm an asshole. I'm not that type of asshole. So let's move on to the series that ended this past week, which was Safe Passage. When it came down to just a few, there was only a couple comments that jumped out. People apparently like the ship names. Okay, if you couldn't figure out, the Midnight Pearl was a link for the Black Pearl, as in black is midnight. So yeah. And the captain's names, I had to look those up. I was completely and totally lost on those. And what the hell do I see here? I see some. I wish I could play the damn. It's looking right at me, Erica. I literally have one that's right here that has the gem theme. I haven't removed it yet. That is just painful. Okay, but she's sending a $10 super chat and says, "Hope all is going well. I love winter weather. Hope you all staying warm, cozy, and safe. Thank you, Sin, for everything." Well, thank you very much, Erica. I hope you're doing awesome as well. I hope you're not depressed, but if you are.
When I get sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead. True story.
And hope you guys are all being awesome. And thanks again. Now, on to Safe Passage on one of these. Like I said, I had to look up the captain's names for those specific ships because I was at a complete and total loss. Somebody asked if it's going to continue. It could. I worry that would be a rehash of the same thing. That's actually what I worry about with some of these, is I don't want to give you guys basically the same story again, which is what a lot of sci-fi shows do. After they finish up a saga, they want to keep their audience and they just give you the same thing over and over again, but everything gets reset to the beginning. It's not only boring to write, but I think it's kind of a slap in you guys' face, and I'm not going to do that. Somebody brought up the fact that almost all pirates are going to fly in frigates. When in Age of Sail, you are absolutely 100% correct, because frigates were fast, they were the cheapest ones to get, and for the size, they could strap on the most guns. That is 100% accurate. That being said, when it comes to space, frigates have a different designation. Just like the Queen Anne's Revenge, I said, was a recommissioned destroyer, not a frigate. Well, you can recommission a whole nother type of ship. It's not just a personal transport like the captain here. So if you guys are going to be writing your stories, you got to be careful on that. Whenever you actually give it a designation, it must fit the designation. Now, you guys have already heard me go through mine. I'm not going to go through it again. So there wasn't a whole lot on that one. And then the next one was the first one-off I've done in a while, which was Bring Me to Life. And guys, I had the hardest time on this. I won this picture. The problem is getting the actual words to come out on here. Wow, what a pain in the nutsack that was. Let's see. The only issue I had on this is there was actually somebody in the comments section who said I was getting lazy on the names because they landed on the planet DoorDash 3. I thought it would be funny. It was tongue-in-cheek, guys. Not to mention, you got to realize that a lot of things that they might say if any species operates verbally is not going to translate well. Their language might sound like a bunch of hiccups and farts for all we know. I mean, it might be their version of saying hello is fingering their own butthole. I don't know what it is. I mean, shit. Anyway. Been a long time since I had orange soda. That tastes weird. Anyway. But yeah, guys, I've been doing this for 4 years already. I've done a lot of one-off stories. I got to come up with a lot of different names, and I don't want to give you guys the same ones twice. So yes, I am going to take a little bit of liberties with the names. If you guys have a problem with it or it means something where it's not supposed to, then let me know. Just like when I was doing Safe Passage down here, you had the 3 women. It was bitch. All their names ended with O on. It was bitch, slag, and ghoul. If you don't know what it is, everybody knows what bitch, but slag is a British term for a very undesirable woman of the night, and ghoul is a dead hooker. So yeah, just kind of keeping with the theme on that. Because I wrote down the mother's name and then I was like, oh shit, how do I get the second two? So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the one-offs. If there's something wrong, you gotta let me know. I can't fix it if I don't know there's a problem. So anyways, like I said, not much with that. Then I went on to this one that, guys, I fucked this up so bad when I wrote it. It's crazy. If I actually sat here and read the way this was supposed to be, it'd be very similar, almost identical for the first like third to a half. And then it went off into God's nowhere. And I'm just like, wow, this is terrible. So I did what I used to do is I basically used it as a template and I just let my mind do whatever. That being said, if you guys hadn't figured out the alien's name, yes, the name was Dung. And I'm sorry, but who doesn't know what that means? If you don't know what it means, I guarantee somebody's already typing it into the comment section right now. And that was, I actually got that off a Australian friend of mine. He was like, hey, it'll be funny, mate, if you use this. And I was like, and then he said it and I started laughing my butt off. I was like, yeah, I'm going to use that one day. And that was years ago. It just kind of hit me in the head. And I will say this, there was a lot of double entendres, how the dung was smeared all over the ground or splattered everywhere or fell in a big flop. You know, yeah, trying to get those as kind of a joke, and let's see how it goes. Now, one person got close. You guys got very close. You know, I like to hide stuff in there. Did you guys understand that the base that was assaulted, they said, their translators said it was only Echo Company. A base from Echo Company. Do you know where I'm going with this? I'm going to give it about 30 seconds to a minute for the chat box to come in. Do you understand where I'm going with this? The base of Echo Company. Actually write it out and then invert it and see what it spells. And we'll, again, I want to see if somebody gets that, because again, this is Douglas saying it there. Boom. Guardian. Guardian's the first one to get it. Well, it close. Yeah, not echoes. If you actually do E-CO as in echo or eco, it spells echo. Yep, there you go, Chris, with Hoth Echo Base. That was, I was trying to like put something in your head, because again, I fucked this up so bad I had to redo it. So I had to do it a little fast, and I didn't want to actually go too much into it. So yeah, so you're more or less looking at the same type of terrain, which is why when everybody kind of jumped up and suddenly was there before everybody started coming out of the ice, that was the trench line. They went out low on the trench line, just waited to be assaulted. And the dung is, okay, Guardian, you did get it. Okay, autocorrect on you. Okay. Anyways, I just thought that'd be a nice hat tip to one of the only good scenes, or probably one of the best scenes in all their movies. Even though by today's standards, it's okay. It needs some updating. All right. Now, I didn't have too much on those three. Let me just pull those out of here really, really quick. Let me move that from the studio before I yoink that out. And hopefully I'll be able to get some more stuff in. I'm actually blowing through my notes really quick. Oh, I've almost forgot. When it comes to the compilation videos, even though you guys are going to see the syntax really big and bold on the side there, don't worry about those. The winner so far has been Julius from Ice and Snow. Okay, that's going to be on the next story, which hopefully will come out tomorrow, either afternoon or tomorrow midnight. One of the things also, I haven't seen him up there, but Brian, he's actually been sending a couple things, a couple messages in. He's been binge watching the older stuff. Remember, again, I've been doing this for 4 years. I guarantee there's something you haven't heard before, or you've totally forgot about it. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So for anybody who's new and who's like, oh, this guy doesn't post every single day or whatever, let them know to go in and look at the older stuff. There's plenty there. And I'm sure you guys remember death orbs, human battleships, and of course, ambush predators, everyone's favorite, which I want to get into, but or I should say, but one of the problems is I'm having a big issue getting and holding subscribers, guys. So I got to go back to my roots for a while and do as many one-off stories as I can before I jump into ambush predators. It is what it is. Now, Brian has brought up that, and this is with everybody, and you guys in particular, if you're going to write or if you're going to draw, if you're going to create in some sort of thing, if you're in the groove, if you're on the jazz, man, if you're on the jazz, you got to stay in there as best you can. Find a quiet place, or I know somebody, when he draws, he has to have like loud metal music going on in the background. That's the way he focuses. I don't understand it. It's not me, but you got to stay on that. You got to stay in the groove, okay, or in the zone, or however that's going to be. All right. In my notes, guys, I do now. You know I don't like doing politics. However, now I kind of wish I had a liquor class here. We had our big discussion last week about the National Guardsmen. Original reports were both were instantly taken down. That's not true. We only lost one, but still a quick salute to our fallen. Good luck on your next assignment. All right. Now, before we get into too much, you know what? You guys seen the old ones. I'm going to shove up some of these new ones. Okay, that sounded wrong, didn't it? But here's one.
Artillery barrage on its way. Target destroyed. Capture the zone. Armor piercing. Loaded. Tank. 12 o'clock. Range. Target. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
Okay, I have no idea what the hell just happened there. Hopefully I didn't lose you guys because everything just kind of glitched all of a sudden on my end. I still see the viewer count up, so we're still good there. Anyway, so like I was saying, you know, they say great minds think alike and are always a bit nuts. Stay in the groove. You know, I mean, when you're, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're driving. I don't care if you're drawing. I don't care if it's whatever it is that you're in. No audio. What? Hell, it's reading. Everything's reading on this end. Am I still getting no audio? You guys got to let me know here. I see one guard saying no audio. What the fuck, over? Oh, okay. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so it glitched. Sorry, guys. I don't even know what the fuck happened, honestly. Ugh, that's weird. Anyways, like I said, like I was saying, and I'm done. And there's two guys right there who are on the jazz. So, on to video games. Not much, except for the video games are still hurting because Dispatch showed everybody if you don't go woke, you can have a good game even with massive plot holes. It doesn't matter. You just have a good, fun piece of escapism for a while, something that makes you think, something that's not going to drive you absolute bonkers. But yeah, just good games. Also, be wary of copycats, okay? It is what it is. I have people copying my stuff. Whenever I have like a big breakout story. At least when I used to, when my channel was doing a lot better. I get like 10,000, 20,000 views on it. And then all of a sudden, all these AI channels just rip it the fuck off. Just be aware, whatever you write, whatever you create is going to be ripped off. People, and I don't mean just straight up, they're doing it deliberately. Some people do it subconsciously, and other people get inspired by your work. I don't mind the inspired portion, just so long as it's not a shot-for-shot remake. Let's see. Also, I actually have on here how, I kid you not, and we actually have, we have our video game guys in today, and it's the modern audiences decide to go in and fix the games in beta testing and alpha testing, and I'm just like, chihuahua. I literally I do not have enough spaces on one of these pages, even if it was blank, to write down all the games this year and how much they've been fucked over. Some of them, all they're doing is changing the skins on the characters to something that doesn't fit the character at all. At all. Why would somebody who is just this broad SOB all of a sudden be so timid? Dude, you're carrying an axe that's bigger than me. Hit somebody with it. And this is someone who actually goes around and uses that axe, but they're so timid they don't want to hurt it. What the fuck is that? And then you have literally the inverse of that. You got somebody who's about as big as his fucking pen, and all of a sudden they're kicking everybody's ass. I'm like, I don't think so. Just keep your politics out of our entertainment. How hard is that? But there's always some rich assholes like, I'm bored. I want to fuck with what other people enjoy to make me feel better. And that's the problem. They're like little children. So, speaking of children, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but apparently Generation Z, Generation Z, Generation Z, Generation Z, what the fuck is wrong with them, is currently binge watching the old shows. MASH, Andy Griffith, Dick Van Dyke. Oh, wait, am I allowed to say that anymore on here? Dick Van Dyke Show? Oh, shit. Oh, better watch. The stream is going to get demonetized again. Actually, 2 weeks in a row, this stream, my streams have been demonetized. Fun. So anyways, yeah, it shows that when they stop with the wokeism, people actually want to watch. I actually know somebody in particular who, when Friday Night Movies comes on, he is so turned off by the two hosts that he sees, he will not actually watch the movies. And this is just on regular television. I'm like, you're kidding me. And he's younger than I am. All right. Now, let's see, last thing. Do I have a... Yes, I did actually get... Now to... Well, you know what? Before I get on that, I'm going to throw on this next video and...
You will pay for this. I'm going to... He's down there. Support me when you
Yeah, I'd say that would work, because if you didn't know what type of weapon that was, those were a side-by-side double rifle elephant gun. If you look at the cartridges, the only ones that are that long are actual elephant cartridges. Just crazy shit. And at point blank range, I don't care what type of armor you're wearing, it's coming through. So there's only one thing on the movies that is actually starting to catch some attention, and it's this fiery farts avatar. Maybe it's a blue piece of ash. I forget what it's called. Whatever. It looks terrible. And the thing is, they've shown enough of it. You can already tell what's going on. What's going to happen is it's a rehash of the same fucking thing, only this time the general is going to look at this, blue piece of, Smurfy cat meat, and she's going to want a piece of him. and she's going to have an alliance with the humans because she's already against Awa. And then there's going to be a fight between them again. How many times do these guys have to fight each other? Rehashing the same villain over and over again gets fucking old quick. The only time it kind of worked was in Star Wars when Darth Vader was the only one to survive the Death Star. But they actually made it so it's plausible that he survived the Death Star. Yeah, you're right, Lena. What the fuck is that? I look at this and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm completely lost. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these folks. They're so screwed up. And it's all going to be like, oh, humans are the bad guys. Humans are the bad guys. Really? Trying to exit a planet that is currently dying. That's bad? The thing is, they make the villains so goddamn cartoony. I'm sitting there, I'm like,
Inconceivable!
and it's every time I go in and I'm trying to watch this, I'm like looking at the door going,
Game over, man. It's game over.
it's terrible. Ugh. And let's face it, since everybody got pulled in by the CGI, which I have to admit is gorgeous, just walking in, all you're going to hear is,
It's a trap.
the whole time. Although then again, you never know. This is Alien. It might just be a trap. I don't freaking know. Oy. All I know is I am going to go watch it just because I like the CGI. I want to see what the actual state-of-the-art CGI actually is. And they're using the highest quality stuff they can actually get their grubby little mitts on. I'm sure there's better stuff out there now. However, it takes years to make one of these movies. But still, it's it is, even though I'm going to pay the money, I'm still going to be sitting there going,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
or at least that's what the guy's going to say when they hands me the ticket. Anyways, the storyline of these movies is so cliche, it's difficult to actually get up behind. And the fact that they draw everything out and they make everybody just the most cliche SOBs, literally human bad because reason. At least I will admit on the second one, at least they tried. When they went out whale hunting and they had the Nantucket sleigh ride, okay, I got no problems with that. My problem is once they extracted the brain juice that stops people from aging, which, by the way, we already know how to do that. It's just not being allowed in the general population because certain people are scared. They're afraid. Wah, cry me a river, little bitches. And then they're like, instead of eating the damn whale that is several hundred tons of food, they literally leave it. That makes absolutely no sense at all. And then they had some fat bald guy was suddenly, we get to kill it. It's also getting, come on. It's just cliche villain bullshit. We're more evolved than that. We've seen enough of it. It's getting too old. But you know what? They're still going to keep going with it. Whatever. So anyway, that ends my notes here. And yeah, it's just, it hurts me. All right. Before I jump in, just remember, make sure that you are still subscribed, guys. I have been seeing a lot of shit going down. It's everybody. Even whoop, damn it. Turn off, you bastard. Even I'm sure you guys have heard of Asmongold, and he does a lot of the hold on. Oh, so did somebody pull in? Oh, you pain in my ass. I swear. You know what? I just moved this sound effect around and it's taken a second to actually kick in, but I'm sure you guys know which one it's going to be. If it'll fucking work. Come on, Stream Deck, you piece of shit. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to have to, if it kicks in, it kicks in. We got a $10 super chat from Brian Kemp, who says, thanks for the stories. Hey, thanks for binge watching the old stuff, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. I very much am. And that's all he had there. Once again, let me write this down before I forget. Holy jumping Jehoshaphat's. And anyways, there. Okay, yeah, it just took a second to kick in. All right. Thank you again, Brian. And we got Erica, Guardian, and Chris have all sent stuff in. Again, very much appreciated. I'm going to go about halfway up here because most everything was, hey, how you doing type of stuff in the beginning. Most of which came from War Sniper. Okay, forgot that was turned down. There we go. All right. And right here after Crixie says, yeah, everybody did wince at the 8K repair bill. If I had that, I don't think I'd be driving. Not for a long time. Anyway, I'm going to have to actually look into getting a part-time job or something, guys. It's getting a little tight nowadays. Anyways. Warsname says, but I wonder, will it mean new elections and will the vice president? Okay, what the? Okay, I missed part of that conversation. I'm going to move down here. Yeah, Douglas saying he learned on a Chevy 3 on a stick. Okay, yeah, that's the way to do it. Get a truck with preferably with a diesel. It's almost impossible to stall those things. Not impossible because I've done it, but still. Alan saying, learn to drive a stick in military, much cheaper. They don't have sticks anymore. None of the vehicles come with a stick, and you need a special license to drive a 2.5 or a 5-ton. And we only, in my first tour, we only had one guy who was certified. He was a replacement. And a good thing, too, because you couldn't kill that fucking truck. It was the only vehicle we could always rely on, no matter how weird it smelled from all the whatever might be burning. It was still moving. It was crazy. Lena says, well, I do drive sequential in video games. Yeah. Chris says, many pirates like the Brig of War and the sloop because of, most pirates like the Brig of War and the sloop. Those are two different types of wood boats. And I wasn't sure what he was talking about at first. Because of speed, and by the sloop is, if I remember, is very, very long, and it's kind of got this strange arc, almost like a junk. They allowed faster boarding. Yep, and they also caught up to the bigger ships a whole lot faster. Lena says the Chinese pirate ships are kind of awesome. You mean the junk? No kidding, it's called the junk, and they are amazing pieces of engineering for such little resources they had. They still made a pretty decent boat. Eric is saying how the Planet DoorDash was funny. I'm glad you enjoyed that. And Chris saying, just saying alien names could be funny, like Planet Chlamydia. There's the reason I don't use that is because that was used in Tripping the Rift. If you guys have never seen that, that is an old series from like the early 2000s. It's a CGI. It's bad CGI by today's standards. But one of the planets was called Chlamydia 69. My brain hurts now. Which in their language means plentiful treasures with no risk. Yeah, no. And of course, we got our guardian here who says,
greeting mortals and other assorted beings.
okay, that laugh hurt a little bit. Let's see. Down here with Eric, was it? Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about with the monument. Man, I must have skipped something. Erica says, War Sniper Vance president would be sworn in if president got removed. Yeah, if he got Epsteined or get medically dismissed. Then America still has it. Well, there's problems no matter who you have. I still haven't had time to work on a shorts video, a fucking shorts video, where I'm going to be tearing the Rangers a new asshole. I mean, they deserve this one. And it's not the Rangers itself, it's Ranger School. There's a difference between the two, a big difference. Anyways, let's see. Lena says it's a Star Wars thing, probably. Oh, with the Hoth, yeah. Guardian, I heard on the news today that, was it Garth Brooks is aborting 1 in 3 babies as a... Okay, I'm not sure GB what that one is. I keep thinking George Bush or something like that. We try to stay away from politics, and that's a hot topic anyway. Let's see. Guard here, he says, yeah, something's going on with the audio on your end. It happened when you first started the video. Okay, that was my fault. This was turned off. As I started talking, I noticed that I got a little gauge. I'm staring at it, and it lets me know if this thing is on, and it wasn't moving. I was like, what the hell? And I looked, because there's like 3. There's one over here, there's one over here, and there's one over here. All of them have to be turned on. And one of them wasn't. It took like maybe 2 seconds for me to realize. And as I was talking, I hit it and we're good to go. Let's see. It just happened after that little video you pulled up. Yeah, what happened was I was trying to put on one of these, you can't fix stupid. He's always been right about it. Yet sometimes you need him to remind us. Yeah, you can't fix stupid and can't stop crazy. All you can do is minimize it. Sometimes the easiest way to minimize them is a good slap across the face, beat the dumb out of you. Until I joined the infantry, I thought that was a joke, knock the stupid out of you. Well, no, they're right. If somebody's never got any discipline or has never been in a fight in their life, you got to knock them around a little bit till they learn. And in one case, I simply turned around and said, this guy tried to get me on an EO complaint because I reminded him that he just did something stupid that could have got one of you killed. And since I'm not allowed to discipline him, well, then I'm not going to correct anybody who does it for me. And I just walked away, and all I kept hearing was him yelling, Sergeant, Sergeant, Sergeant. And as everybody got real close to him, well, he tried to run, and then he fell down the stairs on a patio that had no stairs and was ground level. So anyways, yeah, there's that. Let's see. Sound was good. Okay. Chris says, by the way, get in the groove. Damn, now I have Madonna song playing in my head. You know what? Until I actually read that, I didn't actually think about it. Now it's stuck. Thanks a lot, dude. Now I'm... that's why I usually say get in the zone or something. You got to have the minds that focus on it. And you got to remember, creative minds usually are a little nuts. But yeah, I forgot Madonna did that song. The only Madonna song I ever actually hear nowadays is the whole Like a Prayer thing, but that's because there's a lot of shorts out there where it says women would like to go quietly in their bed surrounded by their loved ones. And then it says men ... And then shows a video of somebody like going out the hard way, like going out swinging. And they're not wrong. Lena says, I probably know only indie games. Well, if you got only good ones. And, oh, you know what, Guard? I forgot to give you one of these.
Heresy! Remove this filth!
I feel like a schmuck for that. And, I haven't seen too, I still have one here. It's the general quarters. I keep waiting for Sir or one of his kids to come back or something. I keep hoping. Got to keep hope alive, right? Anyways, let's see here. Chris says, if I made a game just to make people mad and to be a bit of a dick, giggity giggity, giggity goo. Stick around. I'd make a World War II game where the little mustache man is a hero trying to save the world. Man, people would be pissed. Yes, they would. As much as I hate the guy, he did one or two things right. And I know a lot of people are going to look at me and go, what the hell are you talking about? You could have the worst dictator in the world. They're going to do one or two things right. It's just the typical yin and yang. If you notice that when they go in with that infinity symbol, there's always the different colored dots. It's like nobody can be pure good or pure evil. It's just not physically possible. That being said, a little mustache man, well, he deserved a worse fate than he got. That's for absolutely sure. But yes, that would definitely piss everybody off. Guard sitting there saying, I know I missed the elephant gun like 8 times. Missed with the elephant gun 8 times. Yeah. Well, honestly, if you fired that thing that many times, both barrels back and back like that, you would most likely have a busted collarbone. I mean, it is just ouch. I have fired one time. It was one barrel. I was having that thing all the way into my shoulder. Plus I had a pad on it. And as soon as I fired it, I just was like, yep, you can have this back. He's like, hand go numb? Nope, but I can't feel my shoulder. He's like, don't worry, that'll last about 20 or 30 minutes. Of course, then I had to pay the guy like $10 because that's what it cost to fire that damn thing. Crazy. The only one I never actually paid to fire that I should have was the Barrett 50. Anyways, Chris says, for the record, fuck the mustache man. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Maybe we should I know he would sit there and say, you will respect my authority. But honestly, again, end him. Anyways, Guardian says, I think that the premise is that humanity as a whole is bad for Pandora. Humanity is not bad for Pandora. Their leadership and the way they're doing things is bad for Pandora. They have the ability to fabricate all the buildings they need. They have the ability to clear off the land to grow crops or do whatever they need to do. They can actually, if they wanted to, get on the planet, make a huge dome city, and then just dig down into Pandora itself. And that's going to be your main residence area. You're going to have areas to like grow your crops and raise your animals in Earth atmosphere in there. And then you'll still be able to get sunlight in because of the dome, the glass dome that's out there. They won't do that because that doesn't fit the narrative of evil humans. And I had to pause there because I wanted to say something else after evil, but yeah. In all honesty, eventually what would happen if humans moved to Pandora is eventually they would get more adapt to the lack of gravity that's there. They would get more adaptive to the atmosphere that's there. Eventually, they wouldn't need the breathing apparatus anymore, and they would also get very, very tall, which is actually the reason why the Smurfy cats are so big. There's no gravity there. And they even said it in the beginning. The guy's got like 800 pounds on the bar, and he's just benching it. He's like, yeah, this weak gravity make you soft. I'm like, dude, what was that? 10 plates on either side is 45 pounds a piece. So that's almost 1,000 pounds he was benching right there. That's just nuts. The problem is for a couple generations without any type of medical intervention, light gravity has a very detrimental effect to the human body. No gravity is almost horrible. However, there are some bonuses. You wouldn't have as many back problems. You wouldn't have as many joint problems. The problem is a lot of these, humans will get very, very fat. They wouldn't, their body wouldn't need to metabolize as much. Okay, let's see. Down here, Guardian says, however, you do have a few good humans that can be friends. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Just like they're not all, there's always an exception, and the exception proves the rule. Let's see. Guard says, decide to start playing the OG Modern Warfare 3 on survival mode. I forgot that since I played offline for so long, I haven't progressed anywhere on anything. Modern Warfare 3 is probably the last Modern Warfare that most people actually gave a shit about. I still have a copy downstairs for the Xbox 360. My nephew tried playing it, and he never grew up with a gaming console, so he doesn't have the dexterity with his thumbs, you would think. That being said, as soon as I started working with him, and when he listened, we started beating wholesale or kicking wholesale ass on that, just busting right through it. Although I usually had to run the drone, he wasn't very good at it. Even though he wants to be a drone pilot, so we'll see how that goes. Leonid says, what did the Roach King do? I don't know. What did the Roach King do? So, do I have a button for that? No, I don't. Okay. Although I will say, the Roach King
probably sounds something like this.
His soundboard you guys sent is still working wonders. Is helped me out so much. I didn't think this type of soundboard would help, but it's been awesome. You guys are awesome. And, I have one for that. You guys are awesome. All right. Let's see. Guard says, so now I get to progress through survival mode again, and I already hit level 10 after only playing for an hour. Oh, level 10. He got a 10. Absolute 10. War Sniper saying, just found out Trump's being impeached for a second time. Probably third, but whatever. Impeachment honestly doesn't mean dick. It doesn't, and I don't want to wade into politics, but just remember, Billy there got impeached too, and not a fucking thing happened. So whatever. Brian's here, says, enjoying the older stories. Like I said, thank you for going into the older ones. Maybe they'll get some more traction from some of the folks out there. Let's see. Chris says, I took a planet and magic to stop a division of humans in the first. Oh, it took a planet and magic to stop a division of humans in the first Avatar. If humans showed up in force, then
Game over, man. It's game over.
humans win. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they only went in there with barely an expeditionary group of Marines, and they might have had decent amounts of weapons, but they were severely outmaneuvered. They were severely outnumbered, not outgunned, obviously. But yeah, it's you can have all the guns you want, just like back in the day, they ran the buffalo in a massive charge that actually scared the buffalo to stampede towards the American lines. A lot of people, I forget the name of the quote unquote battle that was, but it went right over the encampment, right through everything. Half those guys were still asleep. And next thing you know, you got a 2.5 ton beast spewing snot all over the place while it runs through you. And those buffalo are mean. You don't believe me? Just look at all the videos coming from Yellowstone National Park of people trying to get a selfie with the buffalo. They're not nice. They will kill you. Okay? It's just, it irritates me to no end. But yes, you are absolutely right, Chris. You know what? Hey, Chris, just out of curiosity, what sound effect would you like? Would you like something from Murdoch, or you want, on the jazz, man? Like that, because I know you go by Prozac and Pancakes, and I can't think of a sound effect to go with that. Let's see. Lena says, it's not about Invisigo or Blazer. It's about Phenomenal Man. Phenomenal Man? Yeah. honestly, on that one, I would like the next round of Dispatch if Phenomena Man actually started to hook up with, say, whatever her name is, Shiny Girl there.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What that is SS Demon coming in. And he says, just popping in to say hi while I work. Hope all is well. Miss being there for the full streams. I'm trying to work. And Unknown Fleet Part 2. Still jotted down notes, but haven't been able to work on it. Excited Stellar Blade 2 was announced. Okay. I haven't played Stellar Blade 1, so you're going to have to tell me how it goes. You guys know I'm not a big gamer, so... And I seriously, again, I have my Battletech game. I still haven't finished in like a year. I just do not have the time, period. However, thank you so much, Demon. And I hope everybody will show him some love. Thank you for being here, man. I know you have to take your time. Take your time off your breaks and everything. Appreciate it very much. And I just realized I wrote that down wrong. Okay. I actually had Demon SS on here. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Oh, shit. Maybe I'm getting dyslexic or something. I don't know what's going on with me. But thank you again, Demon. And, Asmongold is a Roach King? I didn't know that. The only thing I know about the whole thing with Roach is... When I was deployed, no kidding, the guy had all his magazines and he had a sticker of a cockroach on him. And I was like, why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? And finally I walked up, I was like, dude, why do you put that sticker on? You know, it doesn't matter. They're not assigned to anybody. He pulls one out and goes, and it's the roach is right there. He goes, it's a roach clip. Get it? I was like, dude, no, that was so bad. That was just, that was a He-Man dad joke. That was just, Oy. That was just so bad. Anyway, what I was talking about with Dispatch is I would like it to be more of a CYOA where the actual endings are vastly different across the board. I would prefer that. And I think it would be just a better game and a lot more playability on it. So far as story goes, the differences are about as much as Mass Effect. And that's, as far as storyline, it fails. Everything else, it did great. Let's see. Yeah, Erica's sitting here talking about Senate and House. So, yeah. Guardian says, I love my manual. I can't roll start an automatic. Yeah, true. I actually had a dead battery. Was able to pop the clutch and drive to work. Unfortunately, once I got there, then I had to ask somebody to drive me over so I could get a new battery. But they didn't drop me or bring me over. They decided to jumpstart, and I was like, dude, this is a diesel. You're going to fry your gas truck. He said it started acting funny after he jumped my car. I'm like, told you. It's a bit more juice. Erica says, also remember 40 to 80% of Capitol Hill is in a certain book. So, yeah. Or a certain, should I say, file? Yeah. Let's see. Chris with, what your mind forgets, your body will remember. Yeah, especially when you get older and you try to get out of bed first thing in the morning. You go, oh, yep, I remember that. Okay, yep. Oh, I remember that one too. Oh, why does that hurt? Oh, I remember why. Yeah, don't worry, we'll all get there. Unless, one of these rich guys finally realizes to stop being a total freaking douchebag and do the right thing. And then we won't have to worry about it so much. And people forget one thing. When they finally release the technology that allows us to be around for hundreds of years, the population of the planet will stabilize unbelievably fast in most nations. The only places it won't are in places where having a huge amount of kids is a status symbol. But what's going to happen really quick is people are going to say, why in the fuck should I pay for yours? I got my own to deal with. Screw you. You deal with it yourself. You popped out a unit, that's your problem. Or you inseminated and popped out a unit. You know, however that's going to work, however you want to say it. Crazy. Anyways, Lena says, welcome to the internet by Bo Burnham. Feels like a classic song to me. It's a video on YouTube. You know what? I'm going to write that down because I have no idea. Welcome to the internet. To the internet. Okay. The only one I know that there's a song about the internet is the internet is really, really great for porn. I laughed so hard. The first time I saw that, I actually saw it in theaters or in this theater, and they actually served beer. I was not driving. I was about 2 sheets to the wind at that point. When that came up, I still remember actually choking down into my drink, and foam is coming out my nose at that point, and I'm trying to wipe it off, and then they do the next thing, and when the monster goes out for porn, I'm gonna die. By the time we were done, I swear about half of us had to run to the bathroom before we peed our pants. It was just crazy. Okay, let's see. Guard says, I know there is about politics, but oh boy, Trump really pissed off the Somalian community today. It's not America. Okay. I know people are going to get mad at me when I say this, but they're not American. And if they want to rip you off, if you feel good about that, that's your own deal. I do not feel good when somebody rips me the fuck off. I do not like getting played. Okay? I don't think anybody should be getting played. If that means a community who was playing you all of a sudden gets called out, it's not their place to call you an asshole. It's like I had this basically same shit when I was in the Army. When I first got in there, we had vending machines right there in the company area. People would, hey, can I borrow $1? Can I bum $5 for this, that, and the other thing? I'll get you during payday. That lasted about a month until friggin' payday showed up, and I'm like, hey, you owe me this much. Oh, yeah, prove it. That's okay. So the next guy showed up. Hey, can I get 5? Hold on. I pull out my notebook. I start with what's doing. I'm writing a receipt, and you're going to sign it. What? Oh, don't be an asshole. Just give me the $5. No. You guys have been ripping me off for like $50, $60 this past couple of weeks. And I finished. I'm like, okay, sign here. I'm not going to do that. You're a fucking asshole. I'm covering my own ass and I'm the asshole? I don't think so. I'm not an asshole. I'm a dick. Assholes are just totally full of shit. We all know that. And you know how the quote goes, if you don't let us fuck this asshole, then everybody's going to be covered in shit. You know? A little Team America for you guys. If you haven't seen that movie, you really should. It's just so stupidly. Do yourself a favor, be a little drunk, but it's still funny. Guard says, he said, and I quote, you guys come from a shithole complaining about how bad it is, and when you're handed paradise, you sit there and bitch about how the shithole you came from was better. Everywhere I've gone, I've seen that. Nobody appreciates what they have. And that's a failure of every society. If you cannot appreciate what you have while you have it, something's wrong. A lot of people don't appreciate what they have until they lost it. And that, I think, is one of the biggest failures any society's got. So just like when I was in Colorado, I knew this was probably the best my life was going to be. I was working at a job I enjoyed, except for one person, which I could dodge. I was working out constantly. I was in excellent shape. I knew a guy who owned the club that I was going to every single weekend, and I had a whole bunch of friends to hang out with. I wasn't even drinking, and I was having the time of my motherfucking life, and I appreciated every second of it. So yeah, people got to understand how good they actually have something, and not complain that, oh, it's not exactly the way I wanted it. Well, piss right off. Okay, Lena's up here saying, I have to know about popular games that people talk about. Yeah, look up Dr. Disaster. He does a lot of that stuff, going over games. That's like mainly his channel. And he does a good job going over each of those. And honestly, you'll just be waiting for his stuff every day. Let's see. Lena says, Slay the Princess was a very good game. Exactly. How are you slaying the princess? Makes me wonder. Brian saying, yeah, Madonna song stuck in your head. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it at bay. Guardians here. The only good thing Mr. H did in Germany, as far as I know, was get the Autobahn built. Well, that, and he actually insisted on a higher education. Granted, he was very racist about it. He was also very big into physical fitness, especially for children. That being said, he still did not, he had the right idea. His execution was dog shit. Okay. Like I said, there are very few things he did well. The problem is that, especially the absolute root of the problem, aside from the whole racist thing and the fact that he was trying to cull people, was the socialistic system they had relies on infinite expansion. Now, believe it or not, in Battletech, they did the same thing. When Amaris took over the Star League, he pulled all the resources from the outer worlds to the core worlds and left everybody else to rot. Just like Rome did, they did the same thing. They took everything from the outer and brought it into Rome, and everything else was left to rot. And now, at the same time, I'm just going to call him Fucknut. He was pulling everything, and he needed indefinite expansion to keep everything moving, which is why he continued to. That was the reason why Operation Barbarossa, he hated the Russians anyway. He just thought he'd run everybody over. Didn't work out that way. Sorry, I got to calm down. Okay, Erica says, sent the guard. We're at a crossroads of give up toxic beliefs and ideology, and no one wants, so we cannot move forward as a whole. Yeah, the ones who are in charge are the ones that are holding on to this bullshit. And it's like I was saying with Generation Z, looking into old shows, it's been proven that they're going against the wokeism. They're sick and tired of the crap. I mean, my nephew and his younger friends, they're like, we don't want any piece of this shit. Whenever somebody starts talking about woke garbage, they immediately toss it to the side. They've actually excommunicated people out of their friend group because they came in talking ideology, or I should say ideology, as in idiots. And the only reason people are able to spout their ideology is because there's no reprisal. Are they arrested? Sure, but they're out on the street by the end of the afternoon, just like the guy who walked up to a woman this yesterday afternoon, literally at a run, smacked her on the ass with a palm, then grabbed her by the hair and threw her to the ground. It's all on video. And he's going to be back on the street because that's like the 15th, 16th time he's done something like that. So, yeah. There needs to be some sort of punishment, and there's not. People are afraid. And the whole thing about throwing people in camp, I know it's whip me, spank me camp, but no, it's not enough. I think there's 5 different ways you can actually punish people, and it's going to be real simple. The first one is going to be easy. That's money. Okay. You owe this person money. Okay. Big deal. Judge can handle that. The second one, you put their asses on a chain gang. Over, done within a fucking weekend. I guarantee if they're doing reckless driving, they're not going to want to do that again after 8 hours for 3 days in a row in the burning sun, where you get a literal sandwich that's literally nothing but bread, a slice of bologna, and another piece of bread, and a bottle of water. That's all you get all day. And somebody sitting there behind you just basically cattle prodding you along. Okay, there you go. Then after that, then it's then you get into the bad stuff, because that's where you get somebody with a bullwhip. And every time I say that, so, oh my God, that's so racist. No, it's not racist. All you got to do is have a black guy swing it. Over and done with. It's no longer racist. So bite me. And then after that, the next level up would be mutilation, which obviously would be for things like the, what do they call those? The Drake-ish type people. And after that would be, termination. And that obviously would be for the most egregious. There you go. 5 levels. We're done. No prisons. We're not holding them there for life. And if they cross the line too much, we can, gallows are cheap. I know a lot of people are probably like, oh my God, that's brutal. It's the way it has to be done, unfortunately. It'd be nice if we could just do something else, but unless we want to do or take the new technology that's coming out, apparently somebody saw Minority Report and said, you know what, that's a good idea. We're forcing people to live the crime from the opposite direction over and over and over and over again. Then, well, fuck me running. That would work really well. I don't like it because that's basically torture. But anyways, okay, let me pull off of this. Where were we? Lena says the movie with the blue cats people started as Disney's Pocahontas in space. It's not just Pocahontas. It's Fern Gully. It's Dances with Wolves. It's a whole bunch of other ones like that. It's the same fucking thing. Somebody said in there to either infiltrate or to fight. They learn about the culture. They're like, oh, this is much simpler, and they're in harmony. And, like Last Samurai, Tom Cruise. That's another one. And then they get a little sniff of the poon, and suddenly they turn into the biggest fucking simps and turn against their own people. It's just, what the fuck, over? It's just, it's always the same. Asmund Gold is okay. I don't know why is that because he doesn't shower or something? I don't know. Lena says, personally, I am processing how the twist in the Wild last boss is set up. The anime had a better tester playing the villain, playing the assistant all along. And I'm forgetting which game you're talking about, but okay. There's the War Sniper again. Damn, what is it with Syntax, his live stream browsers? They keep crashing while I watch the stream. Really? I don't know. I think you're the only one who keeps crashing. I know Demon had that problem a while ago. I really don't know what to tell you. Eric says, just remember, going green isn't about green policies. It's about making green and restricting resources from us peasants. Yes. If they truly want us to go green, they'd have thorium reactors and graphene. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. 100%. You didn't just hit the nail on the fucking head. You just knocked the nail through a 4x8. I mean, holy fucking donkey shit. That is 100% true. But guess what? We'd have stuff better than the thorium reactors and graphene cables or graphene cables. And by the way, I thought it was funny when my brother's wife, she was developing a new type of coax cable for the military. And I was like, so what'd you do? And I just quoted everything and even said a graphene core. She goes, how do you know this stuff? I'm like, I'm not a moron. Ugh. Anyway, it was a type of fiber optic that was far better than what we had before and lighter too. But yeah, as far as green energies go, holy flying nut. Ugh. The only thing green about this is the money that they take out of your wallet. Now, I live up here in the Northeast, and I don't have the map in hand right now, but I can tell you right now that the areas of this country, not continent, but this country, that are going to work in your favor as far as solar are mainly, if you look at the map, the South, the Plain States, and a little bit of the Midwest. If you look up in the Northeast, it's all color coded. The one I saw, it goes down from like white down to dark purple, and up here it's a light purple. It's not enough, and you would have to have an extremely well put together solar panel, but it's against the law to have a solar panel that works any better than 15%. Some people say 12%. I've seen that too. It irritates me to no end. I'm like, why would I pay for this system that can only be up to 12% efficiency? It doesn't make fucking sense. It doesn't. I want 80, 90% efficiency. If you can get me anywhere close to 100, I am one happy motherfucker. But they won't do that because of money. Yes, that's the green policy. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You want to stop these self-righteous rich assholes who claim, we're doing this for climate change. You don't have to hurt anybody. Shoot the engines on their private planes. If you do that and inconvenience them, put one round through each of the motors and you'll delay them, and that's going to be enough to piss them off. And then all anybody's going to have to say is, well, you said let's knock out the carbon footprint, so we stopped your carbon footprint. You should be happy. You should give everything up so you own nothing and you'll be happy, right? And then when you get pissed off, you can tell him to go fuck himself or herself. Now, I do have to say this before I move on to the next comment. The thing with the thorium reactors is it does not leave a massive amount of material behind. It is far more efficient. It pumps out actually a lot more energy for what you use. And the thing with graphene is such a good conductant. You need so little of it in your fiber optic cable. Basically, you're taking a cable that's a foot across and squeezing it into a centimeter across or less. It's actually crazy how good of a conductant it is. And the kicker is that shit is so unbelievably light. It's absolutely nuts. All right, Leonid here, changing the subject, saying people thought that Bond Blazer was evil, but I would be interested in being friends with Phenomena My Man. He is like a himbo. Not really. You would think so. The thing is, if you go into the actual character study and how he reacts, you got to find out he's actually messed up. By human standards, he's very messed up. As he was growing up on his planet, which is the reason he left, everybody saw how masculine he was, and they treated him like shit because of it. So if you say, dude, you look like a strong guy, you're actually, to him, insulting him. Everybody knows somebody, doesn't matter what compliment you give them, they will take it as an insult. That's one of his major problems. Not to mention, he even said in there how his alien genitalia does not work with Blazer. Well, shit. And all I can say is, just like they did on 40-year-old version, holy shit, man, you got to get on that. It's just, that's why I wouldn't call him a himbo. And if they found out that, yes, he was actually able to mate with a human, again, hook him up with glow in the dark lady there. I forget her name, like Pixie or Pixel or something like that. And yeah, I think that would be interesting, especially since she's got this whole ghetto thing. And well, I think it'd be interesting to watch. The thing is, since it's a cartoon, if they link up Phenomenon with her, he's a dead man before the season is over. The reason for that is every single cartoon, especially ones meant for kids, ever since I was a kid, if it was a mixed couple and it was a Caucasian male, he was dead before the season was up. Robotech is a perfect example of that. 1984, and they're already doing that. Actually, if you watch all the series of Robotech, they did it twice. So anyways, let's see. Warsnap says, I get a lot of videos over it, so it seems very big already. The Democrats and the Democrips and Republicans start to come to get together to stop the dethrone. Yeah, they're not going to. They're not going to. Yeah, please don't put that song in my head, Guardian. I don't really know. The fact that if people actually decided to look into that, they would never, ever, ever sing it, dance it, or play it ever again. And I'm not going to get into that because that's an area that's going to get me canceled. I'm just going to move on here to Leonid. He says, if you want to know the answer, what were those camera things in Assassin anime? Then an old isekai character brought the idea to a fantasy world that they replaced with magic. Okay, I'm lost. My brain's somewhere else on that one. Yeah, I'm sure, Erica, you do have it stuck in your brain. I'd love to play some music right now, but again, it would just kill the stream. Then again, I might just... Nope. Oh, shit. That's right. I moved that one. But then again, you guys are... You're the best around! I can only play that for like 2 seconds, guys, though. That's actually like a 12-second clip, but I have to stop it each time. Let's see. Chris here says, for a sound for me, if you can find it, the show Space Above and Beyond. Okay, hold on. Above and Beyond. From the line. Okay. It's as easy as eating pancakes. I'll see what I can do about finding it. You'd actually be surprised how many particular phrases and stuff are actually behind paywalls. It took me forever to simply find, I kid you not, the Will Smith phrase, "Oh, no, you did not shoot that green shit at me." Everybody wanted like $10 for it. I finally found somebody who wasn't trying to charge me for it. I was like, you. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll look into that, Chris, as soon as I can. Let's see. Douglas here saying, saw a spider mentioned that describes sin called the Jabba. Apparently large enough to prey on small humans. So, oh, okay. In one of the stories I did. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I actually did spiders a few times. If you want, it's actually sci-fi. It's not fantasy. Are we still human enough? If there's one scene that if you're not arachnophobic, you will be. Okay, just pure and simple. But you'll never see it coming. You just won't. I specifically made it come out of nowhere. God, why is it suddenly I'm all of a sudden thinking I don't know why. For some reason, I'm like, that sounded dirty, and I have no idea why, and whatever. But yeah, there are spiders large enough. Actually, tarantulas are big enough to hunt birds, and they do. But there are some even larger. And honestly, most of them are not venomous. They're just creepy as shit. Erica says contentment is good to have, but don't forget to fight the lazy and bread and fight the lazy and bread and circuses that land you in complacency. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a few times, just like today, I had to remind myself, oh crap, I gotta clean out the chicken houses. Yes, plural on that today. I had to get all that done. And I actually had to throw away a good set of gloves because they just got totally soaked with chicken shit. It is actually kind of like very, very gross. Anyway, that took up a bunch of my afternoon to do that. Plus I had to stack wood again and I had to take care of my dad all morning. It is what it is. However, yeah, the best way to fight those is the same way you fight fear, the same way you fight anger, the same way you fight frustration, the same way you fight addiction. You fight it with action. You get up and do something. You understand there's something you need to do, and you just say, fuck all this other stuff. You just get up and do it. And that's just the way it goes. There's no other way to do it. Don't even try. Okay, Lena says, Slay the Princess is a horror game from the point of view of the protagonist and the narrator that tells you that you should kill the princess. Ooh. Although I have a feeling if somebody's whispering in your ear, it just might.
It's a trap.
Just keep that in mind. Chris says, Little Mustache Man actually didn't originally want to cull anyone. His plan was to move them to Madagascar, but the world stopped them from doing that. The rest wrote itself. Okay, I could kind of see that. I don't have any proof of that, so I'm just going to take your word for it. Well, apparently Erica heard about that too, because she forgot about it. Lena says, well, I've seen Asmongold house in his videos. The story goes that it's full of rats and roaches. I do know he had a girlfriend actually for a while, and she came in. She's like, what's that smell? And the guy hadn't showered in like 3 weeks or some. Well, maybe not 3 weeks, but for a while. And that was actually one of the first videos I saw of him. At least he's not shocking his dog. Which, by the way, doing that to an animal, no. I knew somebody who was trying to train a young dog. It was all I could do just not to lose my damn mind. But forcing a dog to stay in one spot for 8-10 hours at a time when it really has to go out and use the lawn, no. You need to be brought outside and beat into the ground for that. That's just cruelness. That's cruel just to be cruel. Let's see. And it also says, actually, I've heard that it's now too late to do solar panels because electric companies are scared of it. Well, yeah, that's why they made the law that says it can only be a certain amount of efficient. People don't realize that when solar panels were originally discovered, how to be made with the silicon and the silver, which, yes, those were the two basic components once they pressed them together. Within a year or two, they passed the law that says everybody has to be hooked up to the grid because they were afraid. If they got panels out there with 90% efficiency, all these farmers would start being off the grid. They would never need it. And then everybody else would just have solar panels all over their roofs. And then the electric company wouldn't be able to literally have you by the balls or the short hairs and drag you around anywhere. It's bad enough. I look at my electric bill and there's about a 30 to 60% upcharge because this state decided, well, if other people aren't going to pay their bill, then you have to pay their bill. I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to pay their bill. You don't have a choice. Ugh. God, these guys can piss me off. All right, let me calm down here. Erica continues her comment with, yeah, because done on small personal scale, done is amazing, but in mass, it could literally roast. Just okay. I must have missed something on that one. If you're talking about the panels, yes, they are meant for small scale, just like the electric wind turbines. I knew somebody in particular. He had a house. It was a 2-bedroom house. He had the small wind turbines. Only the fans were only about this big at each corner, or both corners of the peak of his roof. They spun free, and they just spun constantly. He says he's getting enough of power from that he never has to actually hook up to the grid ever. And lo and behold, somebody found out that he built on his property, and a home inspector showed up, a state home inspector, and suddenly his place was condemned. I believe his words were, "Try and stop me from living here." Yeah. I honestly, don't know what happened after that. He literally went off like nobody's heard from him since. I don't know what the fuck happened. Let's see, guards here. So I started watching the Twisted Metal series, and I'm not going to lie, they really did nail Sweet Tooth. Okay. I don't know much about the character, so I'm going to take your word for it. Chris says, Robotech killed the ace pilot, Ben Dixon, in the most unnecessary way ever. Yeah, that was, even as a kid, I thought that was stupid. They said he bled out. I'm like, really? Where's the blood on his uniform? It doesn't make sense. And I can see a senior refusing treatment until his subordinates are treated. However, he's still going to go see the doc. He's still going to see the corpsman. He's still going to see whoever the fuck it is to get himself patched up, because that's just the smartest way to. You're right. It was really stupid and unnecessary. And I know they were trying to bring drama, but they did it absolutely wrong. 100% wrong. And they made him friggin' pass out and die in front of his girlfriend. I mean, come on. Lena says, The Last Wild Boss is an anime about lady with wings. That isekai is based on video game that is based on the light novel, which is based on the video game. Okay, my head hurts now. Yeah, where the guy reincarnates into his avatar, who's like unbelievably powerful. Of course, the first thing he goes is, "Where's my dick, man? Where's my dick? What the fuck happened to my dick?" It's like that movie, The Hot Chick, "Where's my dick?" Okay. See, Guard is here. He says, it's like a combination of all his iterations throughout the game slammed into one, cruel and sadistic when he needs to be, smart in certain parts, and just a straight up psychopath unit in others. Not gonna lie, I thought the Twisted Metal Black, excuse me, and head-on versions of him are my favorite. But the TV series definitely took the cake. Okay. Again, I don't know anything, but hey, we got Guard saying go ahead. It's worth the watch, then it's worth the watch. Go ahead and check it out, guys. I haven't binge watched anything in probably 5 years. Lena says the wild last boss that has 2 confirmed former players from the game, one of whom is a beta tester. Okay. Yeah, that would actually be interesting there. Douglas says, look up Jabba. Okay, I'll look it up. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I've seen it before. Fluffy. Okay. It comes from the Congo. Yeah, I think I know which one. It's a big, like, giant black spider. I mean, the legs are like this damn long. I think I know which one you're talking about. And yes, I've seen that before. I wouldn't let the damn thing crawl on me. But yeah. And by the way, if you guys have never actually seen anything from the Congo region, that's because the Congo region is one of the most impenetrable places on this planet. It is well noted that even special forces teams don't want to go in there. It is so unbelievably dangerous. It's sickening. Supposedly, there's even a living dinosaur in there called the Mekele Lebembe, and I'm probably mispronouncing that. And basically, it's a smaller brachiosaur. From as I understand, its shoulders are about 20 feet tall, and the head's another 10 feet above that. And it likes to spend a lot of its time in the rivers, but is mostly a land type creature, kind of like a hippo. Probably just as dangerous too, but apparently it does not like being around people, and most people cannot survive in the area where it survives. So yeah. Let's see. Lena says, I've been watching Traveling After the Apocalypse anime, and sometimes it starts to get weird. The girls end up going to a ghost-haunted racetrack. Really? Team 4-Star came with a modern Sailor Moon abridged series for modern audiences. Now with not, oh god damn, really? I'm going to read this one again slower, and this is from Leonid. He says, Team 4-Star came back with the modern Sailor Moon abridged series for modern audiences, now with 9 pronouns. As if calling themselves different planets wasn't enough. Yes, I did see Sailor Moon when it first came out. I'm like, this has got to be something else. What is this? It actually came in Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Oh, I'll wait until X-Men shows up on the next one. So I wasn't going to go anywhere. Anyway, and if those skirts got any shorter, I mean, seriously.
Swing!
Until you realize that they're 14 years old, and then you just feel like, ugh. You know, skin crawls off your back. Anyways, Garcia and he's got a long one here. He says, you know, the one thing that kind of upsets me is what happened to the Skibidi toilet creator. Yeah, the series is annoying as hell, and I don't have to admit it's not the greatest series to come out, especially since I watched it a curiosity. Everything before part 40 is almost suicide including. But I find out that the dude has literally had the entire series ripped from underneath him by a Hollywood company. Just sad. Back in 2023, they tricked him into it, and they took advantage of his terrible English with reading and speaking to get him to sign a contract that made it to where they could just take everything. This is modern lawyer bullshit. It is just there. I'm half expecting to see somebody in my inbox trying to give me some sort of lawyer language saying, hey, we'd like to buy one of your stories so we can make something out of it. And here's 10 cents, just sign on the dotted line. Huh, fuck off and die. But yeah, that's very common. Just like anybody who sells cars, anybody who works in finance, they just want you to sign the damn paper. If they can get you to sign the paper, they got you by the balls. They can stick their hand up your ass, turn you into a sock puppet. It's terrible. Ugh. He continues here, says, yeah, and now they've completely taken control over it and pretty much put the gag order on him, making it physically impossible for him to talk to the community. And just to rub it in, they're now blatantly harassing the community through all of his social media accounts that they have not taken from him. And they're doing it by making posts and comments saying that the community can't do anything against them and how they've got more than enough money to take everyone on if lawsuits would arise, which is saying something since what they did is extremely illegal and can actually get them shut down. Absolutely. However, they're not wrong. If you're going to go into a lawsuit on this, it would take years and take a lot of money. And he continues here, but taking a second to stop talking about that. Speaking about spiders, scientists have discovered a species of gold and purple jumping spiders. So it looks pretty as it jumps on your face and starts to wiggle. I swear to God, everyone jumping spiders is just the fusion Gyrus of the Spider Universe. Ah! Oh, jeez. Chris here. Do you worship the silver-haired god? Let me see that thong. But I don't. Okay, I'm missing something on that one, Chris. Julius is here. He's also saying,
Good evening, sinners.
Guard says, oh, no, I just read that. Let's see. Lena says, it's a joke. Which pronouns do you prefer? He, she, it, they, them. I actually remember one complete moron. We were down at reception, and they actually brought these guys in. This is the first time they're going to see a drill sergeant. They were actually shorthanded. We're basically just pushing them in the right direction. Reception had their own, or replacement had their own people, so they were taking care of most of it. And one of them looked at it, said, as when they were told, you know, you got any questions? One of them thought they'd be clever. Go, what's your pronouns, drill sergeant? Without skipping a beat, he goes, that is my pronoun. And just the look on this kid's face of, I think I might have just stepped in it. But that can't be a pronoun. It has to be. And before he even had anything, we're actually all walking towards this kid. We were about to just throttle his ass and make him fall down the stairs, right? And thankfully, the guy next to him literally wham, right under the throat. I mean, didn't hit the throat, but right under the throat, and hard too. We could hear it. Wham, shut up. He's like, you're going to get us all in trouble. He wasn't wrong. Let's see. Guard's here. He says, oh, yeah, the mustache man, and wanting to send the juice to Madagascar. The only reason why people know about that is because he had a full-blown written documents about it. Oh, okay. That's interesting. When in doubt, kick him out, I guess. He continues with including him talking shit about the UK and France for barring him from doing it. It's a good 8 or 9 page folder. Half of it is just him talking shit of the UK and France, though. Yeah. I would assume, you know, you get pissed off. Somebody tells you can't do something. Let's see. Chris is here. When I was in DPRC, we wiped out a lot of people that eat people while looking for a missing team. We found what was left of the missing team, but yeah, that place was hell on earth. Be careful about what missions you talk about, man. That's all I can say. So, yeah. I've been on a few missions that weren't officially on the books too, and yeah. And you're right. A lot of folks don't realize, especially in this country, they're like, oh, yeah, we need to go to Civil War. I'm like, motherfucker, you have no idea what you actually are asking for. You have no fucking idea, period. It's, I say that because even in I think it was the Jack Reacher movies with Tom Cruise, he mentioned how some people, they've never actually been truly hungry. You haven't eaten in 2 weeks. You haven't drank anything in a couple of days. You've never truly been thirsty. You've never truly been like horny to the point where you will fuck through a wall just to even get close to somebody. You know, you have never actually felt true pain to the point where you're actually hoping that you die soon. I mean, just, they've never actually experienced that. They think they have. They haven't even come close. And it's just one of those things. You want to smack them sometimes. You're like, it's the whole be careful what you wish for. And we can go into manifesting here in a bit if you want, but, which is true, but it's not what people think. I know just a little bit of it. Anyways, Guard says, well, you know, Julius has been up to and down lately. Lots of stuff happening. Too little time to process it all. Yeah. Let's see. Lena said, in the anime, the girls see an illusion of working robots that otherwise should be irreparably broken. Ooh, technology. Oh, they're in a VR. Ooh, something's not there. Erica says a small version of the Brachiosaurus is dinosaur called, or actually it's dragon, whatever, called Saltosaurus. Is he salty? Is he angry? Are they just generally angry? Are they salty, I guess? Even though they're in freshwater. Yeah, whatever. Good to know. I didn't know there was an actual smaller version of the Brachiosaur, but okay. Gart says, speaking of Hassan, the dog Shocker. Yeah, now I kind of wish I had put that on here. Shocker. Excuse, what are we talking about here? The dog Shocker. He's in prison in China right now because the Chinese meme on his phone and some allegations that involved a word that rhymes with grape from Germany. Nobody liked that guy anyway. He's like the one who went down to, I think it was Thailand or Japan or something, and he started harassing everybody for clicks and stuff on Instagram and Twitch, and he got himself friggin' arrested. They wouldn't let him leave the country, and now he's in true whip me, beat me, spank me camp. So yeah, some of these folks, they deserve what they got. Not everybody I can say that, but some folks do. Okay, Erica says, but Saltiosaurus, is Saltosaurus Punch Up? You know, from Dispatch? If you know the joke, you know the joke. I'm not going to go. The Saltosaurus is Cretaceous and not Jurassic. Well, a lot of those dinosaurs were not in the Jurassic period either. I think the T-Rex was actually Cretaceous, if I remember correct. I could be wrong on this. Go ahead, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Lena says, when in doubt, a good test is to play the video game class of 09 and see how much the content would offend YouTube. I'm going to write that down. Video class 09? Video game class 09. Okay. Or 09. See. Okay, I'll see how that goes. I will say this. A lot of the older games, I think if I wasn't stupid and tossed, or I shouldn't say tossed, I gave away a bunch of games because I was becoming a video game addict. Like Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, that is hours and hours and hours of fun gameplay, especially when playing Galactic Conquest. If you know, you know. That was just fun. I still remember I was playing, it wasn't Xbox Live, it wasn't Xbox Live. We actually linked with like a 200-foot cable, my room to his room. So we weren't next to each other or anything like that. We were playing Galactic Conquest, and if you don't know, if you actually take so many planets, if you're on one side, you get to liberate a world, any world, that with the exception of a home world, and if you're on the other side, you get to blow that world up. And it got to the point where we went back and forth so much that eventually it was just the two home worlds. And we played, I kid you not, for like 28, 29 hours straight. And it's, in all honesty, I watched his avatar start doing this across the screen. He wasn't dodging. He was actually falling asleep. And sure enough, that's when LAN parties were fun. I eventually won, but honestly, as soon as I won, I just called him up, said, dude, I'm going to sleep. Good night. See you tomorrow. All right. Let's see. Doug says, the ones in America calling for civil war are the ones that know as Gravy Team 6 or Meal Ticket. Yeah. Yeah. The EBT crowds. Wow. We suddenly lost a lot of viewers all of a sudden. Guard says, oh yeah, I'm about the Saltosaurus. It's also Salto and the video game Fossil Fighters, Nintendo DS exclusive game, but the creators of it have been trying to get a console remaster of it. Okay, that's actually very interesting. He continues with, sadly, due poor advertising from Nintendo and them to being focused on Mario, this Mario that, and this Mario that, and this other Mario, that the game underperformed, and so did all the sequels. But I also blame Nintendo for all its sequels sucking too, because they kept taking devs that were working on Fossil Fighter games and kept forcing them to work on fucking Mario games. So by the time the fourth and final installment of the game came around, the original group of 80 creators, 80, wow, was only 15 guys. So the last game was the buggiest and sickiest, the most combat. Okay. I should know, I played all 4 of them, and damn, it's even as an adult, I'm still addicted to the first game. I still have Nintendo to play it, and I buy a new one when that one breaks. That's pretty much the way to do it. The old games were so much better. So much better. They were just what was advertised. I don't want anything else. I just want what's advertised. Now, that being said, you get something like Baldur's Gate where what'd you get? What was advertised? Oh, you get a love interest for sure. Love interest. Everyone's screwing each other. Man, woman, bear, doesn't matter. They're screwing each other. I'm like, what in the flying fuckle knuckles is going on? Ugh. All right. Erica says the Civil War wasn't civil. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Good, honorable women were forced to put themselves out just to feed their kids. Yeah, the same things happen in a lot of different places around the world. Men meant to protect women and children did horrible things to them. Yes, they did. It was one of the 4 time frames to not be in the U.S. Yeah. There's always those eras, Erica. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. And I can't change it. I don't have a DeLorean. I can't go back in time and change it. That being said, this time there's a little bit different. Back in the day, it was not right for a woman to carry a weapon ever. Not a firearm, not a blade, not an axe, not a nothing. Now it's a little different. You go and defend yourself. And just remember, 1 shot makes them stop, 2 shots makes them run, 3 shots makes them run a hell of a lot faster. But if your aim is good, they won't be running anywhere. If you like my sister, she's probably the best pistol shot in the state. She's won multiple times with a fucking revolver. I mean, just, I remember looking at her at the target, go, remind me not to piss you off. Let's see. Guards here says, oh, right. I did forget this with the whole skibbity toilet stuff, too. He gets paid virtually nothing. Like they tricked him into saying the contract or signing the contract because he just exposed that a bunch of these fake creators saying that they made the series before him were hired by them. Oh, God. Yeah, that's just one of the shady shit they do. Chris here. I'm about to start Borderlands 4. Hopefully, it doesn't stink. All I can say is good luck. I'm not hearing good things about any game coming out. Unless it comes from Japan and directly from them, do not pass go, do not collect $200. They're the only ones that are fighting this crap because they saw their sales drop and they hate that. Actually, I didn't notice this, but Guard continued with, and he keeps having his videos taken down for copyright strike because YouTube is broken with that. Yep. So he took the deal, not knowing that they were the ones who caused it all. And to toss more fuel into this dumpster fire, they take 80% of the revenue he makes from his videos, and they say they're putting it towards the team of creators. Yeah, bullshit. They now have working with it. Yeah, that was the whole damn lie because the episode was such low quality. It started a boycott by the whole fandom that wanted to bring him back and have him work on the series again. This is just the nature of the beast, guys. They do the same thing with anybody who can actually be a decent singer or songwriter. They get you to sign these contracts for a certain amount of songs, a certain amount of records or however you want to be. And it's this absurdly low price. But when you're starting out, you think this is good, but oh man, do they friggin' shiest you so fucking bad. And if you decide to not sign with them again, they blackball you from everything else. It's crazy. Let's see. Lena changing the subject here. He says, isn't Phenomena Man hugs people because he thinks he is screwing them? It's something like that. I don't know if let me say this right. If I'm understanding it right, his idea of, because he knows the difference between making love, which to him might simply be showing affection, compared to actually screwing, as in fucking, as in intercourse, because he was saying, when they said the actual word sex, which if I say one more time, the stream gets canceled, then he's like, no, it doesn't match. Nothing here matches up. So it could be a simple lost in translation. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. And if they continue with the series, which I hope they do, it's fun to watch the little bits, even if I only have like 2 minutes to watch them. Let's see. Guard continues here. Oh, right. The name of the group that did all this to him is called Invisible Narratives, the same company that worked with Michael Bay for Transformers. Oi. And what just recently got exposed had blackmailed him into. Also, not saying anything about what they're doing, so they blackmailed a Russian YouTuber and movie director. Oof. It's a horrible business to be in, and these are some shiesty motherfuckers. Lena says, I've noticed that people can basically animate any video of Charlie and his character Sonar, and it would work very well. Guardian's out here sniping with a revolver pit. Well, no, she's not shooting that far. It's still a pistol range. She's just a better shot than any of these guys coming out here with these insanely expensive semi-automatics. I mean, it's been noted that women are actually better shots than men because they take that half a second more to pause and get everything lined up. We get overexcited and put bullets down range really quick. It is what it is. And I still remember telling that to every single basic training group. And no joke, at one point, we had one guy tell the females that they had to shoot poorly because if they shot better than him, he'd go in and start beating their ass. Oh, that was the wrong thing to do, the absolute wrong thing to do. We found out about it really quick because every guy there dimed his ass out. And needless to say, he got moved to another company really quick. And I know exactly which drill sergeant got this guy because I walked over and I introduced him and I told him exactly what this fucker did. And right in front of the entire company, I swear, they got to watch him get such a thick layer of sweat on him. It was glorious. He did not enjoy his next 10 weeks of basic training. I guarantee that. Anyway, let me throw on at least 1 or 2 more media assets. And here's one where now I didn't put any of the extras in these. These are just the raw clips. At midnight tonight, you have the actual versions that are got the extra audio in them. Yeah, point blank range with a tank destroyer. Still going to fuck your world up. Oh, that's what I'm saying when I come back in with a $10 super chat from Guardian Sage. Thank you very, very much. And let me And he says, thank you for the original content and this live stream. You are quite welcome. Thank you for being here and for helping me out on this. And also, just remember, guys, if you don't let me know what's wrong, I can't fix it. Also, if you guys have anything in particular that you want me to go into, let me know. Just fair warning, if it's an actual extension of a series, that's going to be a while because I still have to do shorts for a while. Even if it's a two-parter, I still got to do shorts for a while, or short or one-off videos. I shouldn't say shorts, specifically just to help people going. Anyway, War Sniper saying, Sin, you love being a drill sergeant, do you? Not particularly. I just focus on the good things. Because if you only focus on the bad, it's going to drive you nuts. And believe me, there were plenty of things that pissed me off so much. Oh my, just things that were beyond my control, and just thinking about was just burning me up. Like all these kids who think, oh, I don't have to push myself. I'll pass the PT test because somebody's going to sit there and pencil whip my friggin' PT card. Bullshit. Not if you have me. I'm not going to happen. I had no joke. Actually had a female start to say, well, I could do, there's a tree line. We could disappear for 10 minutes. I still remember I'm sitting there holding it. I still have people out on the track and I'm timing them. She says that. I look at her. So what's your name again? She gave it to me. I put a star next to her name. It's like, okay, go away. I got a hold of her, drill sergeant, and oh dear God. And the thing is, she was in another company. Thank God for that, because I did not want to be around for all that shit to happen. She actually admitted to it right to the commander's face. I don't see what was so wrong. Oh, man. Lena's here. He says, in the monster anime, the twist is that the mermaid mixed her blood with the blood of a human. I can guarantee you that she can't really eat on that human even if she wanted to. Okay. I don't know where to go on that. But yeah, the thing is, and by the way, War Sniper, I could say some fun shit about Iraq too, even though I hated it. I hated a whole bunch of it. But you know what? There was some bonuses. I got to shoot things and blow shit up. I mean, I got blown up and I got shot at too, but I mean, that's the breaks. I mean, it was kind of funny as we're getting contact after we delivered a log pack to the Marines, and one of the Marines curled into a ball and started crying. And then his senior NCO walked up, literally full on tried to punt this kid up off the ground and screamed, "Get up, you're an embarrassment to the Corps." We're running down the stairs to the trucks like we're supposed to, but we're laughing so freaking hard. You can't hide that shit. Or when the reporter decided to jump in the way as I'm running through the doorway, motherfucker, I'm at full sprint carrying a squad automatic weapon with 1,000 rounds on me. I'm not stopping. He went flying, and somebody looked at, I think you killed him, man. I just saw him spin around and fall off to the side. I'm like, whatever. Again, you got to focus a lot on the better parts. That's not to say you can't look at all sides, and that's one of the major issues that people have. And that's one of the things a lot of people who think they can write have a problem with, is they only focus on the positive. They don't balance the story. There's positive and there's negative. That's the reason why a lot of these superheroes back in the day always had a tragic backstory. So the writers had an easy way to just simply write a positive character because they got the negative out of the way. I mean, Spider-Man is a perfect example of that. You know, he lost his uncle, and then he learned, okay, great power, great responsibility, yada, yada, yada. And now he's a more positive character. Though he has his blips and everything like that, has issues, but it's still, he can focus on that. You know, it's, yeah. Chris here says, I broke like 8 or 9 TV cameras for recording us. Vegas rules are always in effect with us, yeah. Yeah, I still remember the guy shooting the speaker at about 600, 650 meters. Vancourt, you beautiful fat bastard. The dude was an unbelievable shot. You're talking 650 meters at a target smaller than my chest from a standing position. One shot. War Sniper says, I did the same thing with my dragon. He lost his whole species in Apocalypse and built up from that. Yep. It's just an easy way of doing it. I mean, it works. People wouldn't do it if it didn't work. Now, even when I did the character for the DC thing, which I still keep neglecting to do, but that's a whole nother series, and I would have to print everything out because I did get pretty far along. I mean, when you find out his backstory, it is fucking dark. It is seriously dark. You're talking about somebody who was disappeared and everybody thought he was already killed in action, experimented on. They didn't give him any type of pain reducer or anything like that. Just let him scream. And then eventually someone he cares about more than anybody else dies in his arms. Yeah, it's pretty fucking dark. And by the way, it's not just one person. So yeah, I did that subconsciously because I wanted the character to kind of match the DC universe there. But the thing is, the character is dark himself. You talk about the one that he lost and the guy just starts drinking like heavy. And Tony Stark would be like, dude, calm the fuck down, man. That's too much. It'd be like, what was it? Blazing Saddles, where the guy upended the bottle and they're like, man, drink like that and he don't eat, he is going to die. When? It's like he's looking forward to it. Chris up here says, when people say I'm tripping all the time, I always respond with, why is there a dragon talking to me? It confuses people. And it's funny as hell. Yeah. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? All right. I need to give my throat a break here. So let's put one through the uprights. Touchdown! I love those far shots. Lena says Supergirl in the show Adventures with Superman was really cool. Are you talking the animated ones? I know the live action one. As soon as they started introducing characters on the first episode, I still remember guy walking in. I go, please don't be Jimmy. Please don't be Jimmy. Please don't be Jimmy. Hi, my name is James. Fuck. Jimmy has always been Jimmy, a young, goofy kid, not a almost 30-year-old debonair motherfucker. It doesn't work. Okay, that's why she liked him. That's why they first started dating, was because she was drawn to him. And believe it or not, that's where the Blazer character in Dispatch and the Robert character, that's the reason why they're pulled together. Neither of them, they're the only ones there that were not born with their powers. She has got the amulet, he's got the suit. Okay, they don't have any type of power until they put that in, which is why I've noticed that, let's see, animated show on Adult Swim. Okay, got it. I haven't seen Adult Swim in a long time. I hope I'm thinking the right one. Anyways, as far as the two characters are concerned, that's one of the things that makes them stronger than people realize. Because if you look at the Blazer character, when she powers down, she's in gym clothes, actual gym clothes. You know, she powers down and goes to the gym. They even drew her with abs. Do you have any idea how much you have to put yourself through just to see your abdomen? I've seen my abs, I think, twice or three times in my entire fucking life. Once right after basic training, because I lost like 50 fucking pounds. Another time during my extremely heavy workout days. And a third time right before I came back here and got hurt. I mean, it's just, holy shit. Still crashing, Sniper? Okay, I'll finish this up fairly quick then. Okay, we've been going for about 2 hours, so I'll just finish this up with, if you have two characters that you are putting together in your story, and they have very similar either backgrounds or, like I was saying, with Blazer and Robert, the way they kind of understand each other. They have something in common, even if at first one of them doesn't understand it, which, I think was really, really kind of clever of them. Then, yeah, it's the same thing that if you put a bunch of people in a room, you will see the veterans start to pull together because we draw to each other. The only difference is we don't break ourselves apart via, what biological sex or what race. It doesn't matter. We draw to each other because we understand each other. It's just the way it is. War Sniper saying, oh, it's 2:30 where you are? Holy flying nutsack. Okay. Well, let me just one more mediate you with this, and we'll do a short one.
12 o'clock. Range. Our victory is near. Target destroyed.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's starting to take off. So, like I said before you leave, make sure that you are still subscribed. For some reason, YouTube has unsubscribed me from a lot of people over the past month. I think at least, if I remember correctly, it's 2, possibly 3 people have told me directly that they got unsubscribed. So make sure you're still on there. Also, safety brief, folks. You know how it is. If you drink, you drive. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If everybody wants to drink and drive, feel free to beat their motherfucking ass. It's a whole lot better to explain to somebody why you broke their nose than to explain to somebody else why they broke their neck. Also, if your little soldier's going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. Think about it.
Giggity, giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
And also, if you're going to be getting into the super hard stuff, don't do that unless I'm around to share it with you. All right. Also, last thing, guys, we just had a big storm roll through yesterday. I don't know where you are, but it is winter, which means it's going to go it's early winter, which means it's going to go from warm to cold. And black ice is a real bitch. It has almost killed me twice. One time it almost sent me straight into a pole, and another time it almost sent me into a river. Neither time was fun. Okay. So do yourself a favor. Be careful out there. Be cognizant. And keep yourself safe, because I want to see you guys here next time on Syntax Live. What am I going to send you guys out with? Oh, of course, this one.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Take care. Oh, what the hell? What is? Oh, gotta love it. I had this timed and it all went out on me.